The conference room at Nexus Technologies hummed with the usual pre-meeting energy. I sat quietly in the corner, laptop open, ostensibly reviewing quarterly reports while the hiring committee filtered in. 3 months pregnant and finally past the morning sickness, I decided to surprise my husband James with lunch after sitting in on this meeting. He didn't know I was here, thought I was at my own office across town. "All right, people, let's make this quick." Vivian Sharp, VP of Operations, strode in like she owned the place. Her power suit was impeccable, her attitude less so. "We have 6 candidates to review for the senior developer position." I'd heard about Vivian from James. Brilliant, he'd said. Ruthless. Efficient. He'd hired her 6 months ago to streamline operations, and she'd certainly done that, cutting costs, reducing redundancies, and apparently, as I was about to learn, implementing her own hiring philosophy. "First candidate," Harold from HR began, pulling up a resume on the screen. "Maria Gonzalez. 10 years experience, led the team that developed." "Pregnant," Vivian interrupted, not even looking up from her phone. Harold blinked. "I'm sorry. She's pregnant. Saw her LinkedIn post last week. 7 months along." Vivian made a dismissive gesture. "Next." "But her qualifications," Harold tried. "Don't matter. Pregnancy means unreliability. Hard pass on that candidate." Vivian's voice was crisp, certain. "She'll be out for months, then distracted when she returns." "If she returns." "Next." My fingers stilled on my keyboard. The familiar queasiness returned, but not from morning sickness this time. "Ms. Sharp," Harold said carefully, "we can't discriminate based on pregnancy. It's illegal." "I'm not discriminating," Vivian said smoothly. "I'm being practical. We need someone who can commit fully to this role. Not someone who'll disappear for maternity leave just when we need them most." "The law requires," Harold began. "The law requires we don't say it out loud," Vivian corrected. "Find another reason. Her experience is too narrow or she's not a cultural fit. But we're not wasting time on pregnant women. Or women who might get pregnant, frankly." My hand moved instinctively to my still flat stomach. 3 months along, not showing yet, but carrying the future Vivian apparently thought made women worthless. "That's a rather broad category," Jennifer from engineering said dryly. "All women who might get pregnant? Don't be deliberately obtuse," Vivian snapped. "Married women under 40 without kids? Red flag. They're all ticking time bombs. Single women in their 30s? Desperate to settle down and breed. Best candidates are men or women past childbearing age." "That's textbook discrimination," Harold insisted. "That's textbook business sense," Vivian countered. "Do you know how much maternity leave costs this company? Not just the pay, the lost productivity, the temp workers, the delayed projects. I ran the numbers. Every pregnant employee costs us nearly $200,000 in lost efficiency." "You ran numbers on pregnant employees?" Jennifer's voice was icy. "Of course I did. That's why James hired me, to cut the fat." Vivian pulled up a spreadsheet. "Look at this. Sarah from accounting, out for 4 months last year. Hernandez in sales, 2 maternity leaves in 3 years. The Watson woman in legal, pregnancy complications, missed 3 months, then quit to focus on family. Sarah came back and landed our biggest client," someone pointed out, "after costing us thousands in temp coverage." Vivian's tone brooked no argument. "This is why I've implemented new screening procedures. Check their social media. Recent weddings? Honeymoon photos? Fertility clinic follows? All red flags. You're stalking candidates' social media for pregnancy indicators?" Harold looked ill. "I'm protecting company interests." Vivian turned to the screen. "Next candidate. And please tell me it's a man this time." "Actually," I said, my voice cutting through the tension like a blade, "I'd like to hear more about this policy." Every head turned to me. Some recognized me immediately, their faces paling. Others, including Vivian, looked annoyed at the interruption. "I'm sorry, who are you?" Vivian's tone suggested I was something she'd stepped in. "Elizabeth Chen Morrison." I closed my laptop slowly. "I'm sitting in on today's meeting." "And you are?" Vivian waited, impatient. "Concerned." I stood, smoothing my dress. "Very concerned about what sounds like systematic discrimination against pregnant women and women of childbearing age. This is a private meeting, in a public company, with policies that affect all employees." I moved to the front of the room. "Tell me, Ms. Sharp, what's your stance on fathers taking paternity leave? That's different." "How?" "Men don't physically recover from birth. They don't breastfeed. They can return to work immediately. So you discourage paternity leave? I don't discourage anything, Vivian said defensively. I simply make it clear that career-focused employees prioritize their work. Interesting. I pulled out my phone. Does my husband, your CEO, know about this policy? The room went silent. Vivian's face went through several expressions before settling on shock. Your husband, James Morrison, your boss, the one who just expanded parental leave to 6 months for all employees. I smiled pleasantly. The one who believes work-life balance drives innovation. The one whose own mother nearly died in childbirth, but still ran a Fortune 500 company. That husband. I didn't realize. Obviously. I pulled up James's email on my phone. Let me ask him what he thinks about your $200,000 calculation. I'm sure he'll be fascinated to learn pregnancy is considered fat to be cut. Mrs. Morrison, Elizabeth, there's been a misunderstanding. Has there? I touched my stomach deliberately. Because I'm 3 months pregnant. By your calculation, I'm about to cost someone $200,000 in lost efficiency. The color drained from Vivian's face entirely. Congratulations, Harold offered weakly. Thank you, Harold. Though according to Ms. Sharp, I'm now unreliable and distracted. I turned back to Vivian. Tell me, what should we do with pregnant executives? Or is discrimination only for lower-level employees? This is a mischaracterization. Is it? I pulled up my phone's recording app. Good thing I recorded this entire meeting. Your lawyers will love the part about checking fertility clinic follows on social media. You can't record without consent. One-party consent state, Jennifer said helpfully. Elizabeth was in the meeting. Completely legal. By the way, I continued, I'm 3 months pregnant. And you're fired. You can't fire me. You don't even work here. No, but he does. I hit dial on my phone. James answered on the first ring. Hey, baby. How's the morning sickness? Better. I'm at your office, actually. Sitting in on the hiring meeting. I put him on speaker. Quick question. What's your policy on discriminating against pregnant candidates? What? His voice sharpened. Who's discriminating? Ms. Sharp. She's implemented screening procedures to identify and reject pregnant women. Or women who might become pregnant. Which is basically all women under 40. The silence on the other end was deafening. Vivian. James's voice was deadly calm. Is this true? Mr. Morrison, I can explain. No need. Security will escort you out. Harold, please process her termination immediately. Cite discrimination and violation of federal employment law. But I was protecting the company. You were exposing us to massive lawsuits. James cut her off. Not to mention violating everything this company stands for. We're done here. This is a mistake, Vivian said desperately. The numbers don't lie. Pregnancy costs. Pregnancy costs? I interrupted. Let me tell you about costs. The lawsuit Maria Gonzalez could file? Millions. The reputation damage when this recording goes public? Incalculable. The talent we'd lose when women realize they're not welcome here? Devastating. I was being practical. You were being illegal. And moronic. I turned to the room. How many of you have children? Most hands went up. How many took parental leave? Same hands. And yet here you all are, being productive. Imagine that. I look back at Vivian. You know what's really inefficient? Losing experienced employees because they feel unsupported. Training replacements because parents quit. Missing out on top talent because of archaic bias. The Watson woman quit. Because you made her feel unwelcome for having complications, Jennifer said quietly. I know her. She loved this job. But after you questioned every doctor's appointment, made her feel guilty for morning sickness, implied she was failing the team? Yeah, she quit. We lost a brilliant legal mind because you couldn't see past her uterus. Security appeared at the door. This is wrongful termination, Vivian threatened. Sue us, I suggested. I'm sure the jury will love hearing how you stalked candidates' social media for wedding photos. Harold, do you have documentation of her discrimination? 6 months' worth, Harold said grimly. I've been building a file. You knew. Vivian turned on him. I hoped you'd stop. Or that someone would catch you. He shrugged. Guess someone did. As security let her out, Vivian turned back. You'll regret this. The board will hear about the inefficiency. The board? I laughed. My father-in-law is the chairman. He has 6 grandchildren and wants more. My sister-in-law is a board member, currently on her 4th maternity leave while running a biotech firm. They'll be thrilled to hear about your efficiency calculations. Vivian left without another word. The room sat in stunned silence. Well, I said finally, I believe you have a senior developer position to fill? I hear Maria Gonzalez is excellent. She is, Harold said quickly. I'll call her immediately. Good. And Harold, implement blind resume reviews. No names, no gender markers, no graduation dates that reveal age. Let qualifications speak for themselves. Yes, ma'am. I gathered my things, then paused. Oh, and everyone? Congratulations on my pregnancy. James and I are thrilled. We're also implementing on-site childcare next quarter. Because supporting parents isn't just legal, it's smart business. Congratulations, Elizabeth, Jennifer said warmly. And thank you. Don't thank me. Thank whoever taught Vivian that discrimination was good business. I smiled. Then do better. I left them to their meeting, their real meeting, where qualifications mattered more than ovaries. In the parking lot, my phone rang. James. 3 months, he said. We agreed to wait until after the first trimester announcement. We did. But someone needed to know that pregnant women aren't liabilities. We're assets. I started my car. Also, I'm craving Thai food. I'll meet you at Bangkok Garden in 20. He paused. I love you. Both of you. We love you too. I touched my stomach again. And James? Maybe screen your VPs better. The last one thought pregnancy was a disease. Noted. No more hiring people who see humanity as inefficiency. Good policy. See you at lunch. I drove away from Nexus Technologies, leaving behind one less barrier for working mothers. Vivian Sharp thought pregnancy meant unreliability. She was wrong. It meant strength. Power. The ability to create life while destroying stereotypes. And I was just getting started. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.